Hello and welcome back to this video about working with a hex editor. So in the last video, we explained or talked about relative offsets. I just want to do another example about relative offsets. Okay, just want to do another example about relative offsets. I know we won't be calculating, by the way, relative offsets by hand. That's otherwise why are we using a hex editor? But just to get started and understand the whole concept, later we will definitely be using the search, okay, go to and all of that. Okay, so we will be going to those, but for now let's just go and do another example. So let's start again at the location 0 or at offset 0. This is where your starting point, again, unless specified. So from location 0, let's say we want to move this time to offset 3. So what we will be doing is, this is offset 0, this is offset 1, and this is offset 2. Now we are at offset 3. Okay, so from offset 3, let's say we want to move to offset 5. So again, from offset 3, we go to say 4 and then to 5. Okay, let's start from the beginning, do one more example. Now, let's say we want to go to the offset where we have our second, let's say, or let's say to the offset where we see our space. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to the offset where we see our space, and you can see the spaces were at offset 5. So we will go to where offset 5. So this is where we have our space. Great. So now let's say you will say, okay, relative to offset 5, move one more location. Okay, so now I'm at offset 6. And now let's say you will be thinking of, okay, why don't I parse the word everyone? So this one, the word everyone, why don't I parse it? Let me just parse it. So what you will be doing is from offset 6, because now we are at offset 6, okay, we will now start to parse. So we have from offset 6, 65, 60, 76, these values. Okay, we are doing what? We are parsing them one by one at a time. And now we land where? At offset E, or at position 14. So by that, we actually just moved over how many bytes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we moved over 8 bytes. Let's say you now want to move to the next letter, or the next word, sorry. So what we need to do is parse those. What? We need to jump over those. If you remember the file, let me just bring the file back again. It had the new line feed carriage return, those are 2 bytes. Then a new line feed carriage return, those are another 2 bytes. And then another new line feed carriage return, those are another 2 bytes. So we need to move over every new line feed carriage return, which are 2 bytes. So if we jump over 1, 2 bytes, now we land over here. We jump 1, 2 bytes, now we land over here. And as you can see, these are all relative to the previous location. So when I say again here, jump another 2 bytes, these are relative to the previous one, not to 0. It will be something completely different if I say jump 2 bytes from location 0. But from here, if I say 1, 2, we will land where? At the next word, which is welcome. Okay, now since we know welcome is 7 bytes, now what you can say is let's jump over 7 bytes from this location. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we land where? At the location which is for the space. If we say relatively, let's jump 1 byte, so we are jumping there. Now we land at the C. If we say let's jump 2 bytes, because our word 2 is actually 2 bytes, so if we do 1, 2, then we also land over here, and so on and so forth. But these values which I'm using, these are all relative what? Positions. These are all relative positions. These are not positions from location 0. Let's do one more example and finish. So if we go back to 0, let's say someone says, I want you to go to position number 24. So this is 8, and this is another 8, and then so that's 16, and then this is another 8. So now, sorry, I just by mistake highlighted another value. So 8, and then 8, and then 8 makes 24. And so this position over here is actually the position 24 or offset 24. Look down here, it is offset 24. It is offset 24. Okay, so if I say from offset 24 go 4 more bytes relatively to offset 24, again, okay, relatively to offset 24, go 4 more bytes forward. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So we land over here. So this is offset now what, as you can see, 28. So I'm now at offset 28. If I say from offset 28 or from position 28 go 4 more bytes forward relatively to this position, then 1, 2, 3, 4 lands me over here at this position. So that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.